Hello, everybody. I wanted to do my monthly review of the news alerts from Maricopa County Attorney's Office. So you'll see on the screen, this is for the month of February. And I'm hoping that the 8 cases, news alerts, I should say, bring you some information that you may not be aware of. I hope that I do a good job covering these for you. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining. I appreciate that. So the first one was regarding a shooter indicted for seriously injuring young boy. This is dated February 2nd. Maricopa County Attorney Rachel Mitchell announced today that Joanna Cortez, has been indicted for shooting a 4-year-old boy in Phoenix. On January 6th, Cortez fired a rifle into a home where her ex-boyfriend was visiting near 32nd Street and Broadway Road. A little boy who was inside the house was struck in the face. A grand jury indicted Cortez on the following charges: one count of aggravated assault, a Class 2 dangerous felony, and dangerous crime against children. One count of discharge of a firearm at a structure, a Class 2 dangerous felony, and one count of aggravated assault, a Class 3 dangerous felony, domestic violence. The trial is currently set for May 20th, 2026. And as I've stated many times before, a criminal charge is merely an accusation, and the defendant is presumed innocent until and unless proven guilty. Hey, Marilyn. Hey, Snow. Hey, Christy. Hey, Thelma. The next news alert was dated February 4th, and it's titled 3 Charged with Murder and Deadly Armed Robbery. Maricopa County Attorney Rachel Mitchell announced today that Raul Acevedo Clavel, Demarius Shaw, and David Brunt have been indicted in connection with a deadly shooting in North Phoenix last year. In October 2025, Phoenix police officers responded to a report and shots fired in a wash and park area near 12th Street and Bell Road. A 17-year-old male was found with multiple gunshot wounds. Detectives discovered that Acevedo, Clavel, Shaw, and Brunt and the victim had planned to rob someone during a gun sale. During the robbery, there was an exchange of gunfire resulting in the victim's death. All 3 defendants are charged with 1 count of first-degree murder, a Class 1 dangerous felony, 1 count of armed robbery, a Class 2 dangerous felony, 1 count of conspiracy to commit armed robbery, a Class 2 felony. A trial has been set for October 2026. The next news alert was titled 11 count indictment for man who shot up house in, and it's hidden, so I apologize. This was dated February 9th. Suspect faced felony murder charge after man inside the home is killed by police. Maricopa County Attorney Rachel Mitchell announces the indictment. Let's see. Maricopa County Attorney Rachel Mitchell announces the indictment of Edgar Ledesma Garcia on multiple felony charges stemming from a January 2026 incident in which Kristen Diaz Rendon died. On January 26, 2026, Garcia shot up a home near 75th Avenue and Lower Buckeye in Levine. He then broke into the home and shot someone inside. Phoenix police were called out to the home, and when officers arrived, one officer shot and killed another person inside the house. Garcia is being prosecuted under felony murder, a law that allows a defendant to be charged with first-degree murder if a death occurs during the commission of a dangerous felony. Garcia is charged with the following offenses: 1 count of first-degree murder, a Class 1 dangerous felony, 1 count of burglary in the first degree, a Class 2 dangerous felony, 1 count of kidnapping, a Class 2 dangerous felony, 1 count of discharge of a firearm at a structure, a Class 2 dangerous felony, 3 counts of discharge of a firearm at a structure, a Class 3 dangerous felony, 3 counts of discharge of aggravated assault, a Class 3 dangerous felony, 1 count of disorderly conduct, a Class 6 dangerous felony. Hey, Auntie M, how you doing? The next news alert came out on February 11th. Convicted killer gets 25 years in prison for stabbing. Maricopa County Attorney Rachel Mitchell announced today that Damian Mitchell has been sentenced to 25 years in prison for killing Reminis Biddle. On December 29, 2024, Reminis walked into a grocery store in Phoenix, said he had been stabbed, and collapsed. With help from a witness, officers found the original crime scene a few blocks away, near 7th Avenue and Osborne Road. Detectives learned that Mitchell and Reminis had passed each other near the crime scene, exchanged words. The defendant turned around and followed the victim behind a building where he stabbed Reminis once in the chest. The victim that rode his bike to the store for help. Surveillance video shows that just before the stabbing, Mitchell was in the same grocery store and bought a knife that matched the victim's stab wound. Because the defendant used a debit card to pay, Phoenix police detectives were able to identify him and gather additional evidence to further link him to the murder. Thanks, y'all. I really appreciate it. A jury convicted Mitchell of second-degree murder, Class 1 dangerous felony. And a quote, "The defendant chose to turn a brief encounter into a moment of violence, taking Reminis's life and leaving his family and loved ones with irreparable loss," said Maricopa County Attorney Rachel Mitchell. "I'm thankful to prosecutors Benita Clark for getting justice for Reminis and his family and ensuring his killer is held accountable." Hey, Erica. This is the monthly review from Maricopa County's news alerts that have occurred in the month of February. I do this on a monthly basis to bring to light, I want to say, the successes of the Maricopa County's attorney's office and help people to understand that the streets are safer after the work that's been completed by the Maricopa County's office. The next one is sex trafficker indicted after victim calls for help. This was posted on February 12th. The victim was connected with support services after being rescued. Maricopa County Attorney Rachel Mitchell announces the indictment of Dorian Union Murray on multiple felony charges stemming from an investigation into alleged human trafficking and a violent domestic incidents. In January of 2026, Glendale police responded to multiple 911 calls made by the victim. She told officers she feared for her life and hid in a bathroom after Murray hit and threatened her because she refused to work for him on The Blade the night prior. The Blade is a stretch of 27th Avenue near Indian School Road known for prostitution. The defendant was arrested and the victim was connected with support services. Murray is charged with the following offenses: 1 count of sex trafficking, a Class 2 felony, 1 count of aggravated assault, a Class 3 dangerous felony, 1 count of receiving profits of prostitution, a Class 5 felony, and 1 count of transporting persons to the purpose of prostitution, a Class 5 felony. Murray is currently held on a $250,000 cash-only bond, and a trial date is set for June 2026. These are some horrific news alerts that are happening in Arizona. So I'm grateful that the law enforcement's handling them the best they can and bringing people to justice. It's the only thing we can do, right? The next one is boyfriend who killed girlfriend's father in 2021 sentenced to prison. This was posted on February 23rd. Maricopa County Attorney Rachel Mitchell announced today that Taryn Brown has been sentenced to 43 years in prison for the murder of Ricardo Lopez Sr. and the attack on other members of the Lopez family. In November 2021, Avondale officers responded to multiple 911 calls reporting a shooting at a residence near 103rd Avenue and Indian School Road. Investigators determined that Brown, who was dating a member of the Lopez family, got into a verbal argument with the victim inside the home. During the confrontation, Brown pulled out a handgun and fired multiple shots. Ricardo Lopez Sr. was killed, and another family member was also shot but survived. Brown fled the scene with his infant child and was arrested several hours later near 104th Avenue and Indian School Road. When he was arrested, Brown still had the child with him and was found carrying the handgun used to kill Ricardo Lopez Sr. Last fall, Brown was convicted by a jury of the following charges: 1 count of second-degree murder, a Class 1 dangerous felony, 3 counts of aggravated assault, a Class 3 dangerous domestic violence felony, and 2 counts of unlawful discharge of a firearm, a Class 6 dangerous felony. Quote, "No one should ever fear for their life inside the sanctuary of their home, yet that is exactly what the domestic abuser did," said County Attorney Mitchell. When conflicts escalate to gun violence, the consequences are irreversible, and today's sentence reflects the gravity of taking a life and or commitment to holding violence offenders fully accountable. The next one is trafficker indicted after teen girl found on the blade. Maricopa County Attorney Rachel Mitchell announced today that Cameron Reynolds has been indicted for trafficking a 16-year-old girl in Phoenix. In October 2025, Phoenix police officers spotted the teen victim on the blade, an area near 27th Avenue and Indian School Road known for prostitution. The victim told police that Reynolds bought her clothes and got her a hotel room where she had sex for money. She then gave the money to Reynolds. The victim was offered support services. Reynolds is charged with 3 counts of child trafficking and a Class 2 felony. He is being held on a $150,000 cash bond. Trial is currently set for June 2026. I'm trying to stick with what the news alerts say. So, hey, Razzmatazz, how you doing? Ms. Wings, and Christy again, thank you. The next one is February 26 posting entitled Teenage Murderer Sentenced in Drug Deal Robbery. Maricopa County Attorney Rachel Mitchell has announced the sentencing of Agil Chan Ring and Nathan Daron James for the murder of a 17-year-old Phoenix citizen, will add. In July of 2024, the defendants lured the victim to meet near 7th Avenue and Buckeye Road under the pretense of buying marijuana. When the victim retrieved the marijuana from the center console of his car, Ring shot him twice in the chest. The defendants then stole the marijuana along with the victim's phone and a gun. Ring was arrested by police near the crime scene. James fled to Kansas City, Missouri, where he was arrested months later and extradited back to Arizona. Police used witness statements, cell phone records, and social media videos and DNA evidence to connect both defendants to the shooting. Quote, "We see cases like this far too often. Teenagers planned armed robberies over marijuana or vape products and senselessly murdering someone in the process," said County Attorney Rachel Mitchell. Thanks to the dedicated work of the Phoenix Police Department and drug trafficking prosecutor Sarah Lundstedt, these 2 individuals have been held accountable. Ring and James both pleaded guilty to one count of second-degree murder, a Class 1 dangerous felony. Ring was sentenced to 22 years in prison, and James was sentenced to 13 years in prison. At the time of the shooting, Ring was also a prohibited possessor. At sentencing, one of the victim's family members told the court, quote, "We will never get to see him graduate, start a career, or have a family of his own. Those milestones were stolen, and that loss is something our family will carry for the rest of our lives." So once again, teenagers, right? Doing the unthinkable, not realizing the overall impact to the others left behind. Prison time is, in my opinion, is appropriate for both of them. But I do send out my sympathies to the families that they've affected. And I really hope we stop receiving news alerts on cases like this or situations like this. And that was the last one. I believe that was posted, February 26th. So moving forward, today's March 1st. I'll be gathering news alerts as they come through. This is a situation where we want to report and don't repost, right? If you're alerted or aware of something or a victim or a citizen that's witnessed, please report it. And again, Rachel Mitchell supports fighting crimes of all kinds. If you've seen my previous streams, on previous monthly streams, you'd know that she covers a variety of cases, and her office does. So there's no limit to what they'll cover, investigate, and bring to court. We're talking drag racing. We're talking a variety of felonies, misdemeanors, high crime. We also had a death penalty case recently, I believe a month or two ago. So you can see that they're taking every incident into consideration and follow up. So please feel free and do reach out through your 911 service or law enforcement, or even directly to the Maricopa County Attorney's Office. I've shared before that you can actually go to their website and there's a contact us, and you can put in information there, specifically a description of what happened if you're aware. Some people don't want to get involved. There are others that are willing to stand up and face what's going on and explain themselves to support I forgot the word, the location of the criminals and bringing them to justice. So I'm grateful for anyone who will put their face out there and talk to the public, online or otherwise, because that's incredibly courageous, if you will, in my opinion. And I hope more people do get involved safely, of course, but it's very important that they do report things that they see or are aware of. It's the only way you can keep our streets safe, especially in the area of Phoenix, Arizona, which is where I'm at. And thanks, Eric. I appreciate that. Hey, Teresa. Let's show this up there. Razzmatazz, sorry about that. My BFF ex-husband was offered 17 to 20 years for molestation of his stepdaughter. If he does take a plea, his trial will start the same day Laura's does. I will be in the courthouse regardless. Well, that's good, Razzmatazz. I appreciate that comment. Again, I just read it out loud due to Razzmatazz's comment. Thanks, Becky. I appreciate that. Yeah, Erica, I appreciate the comment. I try my best, right? And all I can do is be accountable and move forward, which is what I'm trying to do currently. And we shall see what the future holds. And I really appreciate Snow Under. She's got a marathon coming up, so I support her and rah boy and keeping her spirits up and continuing what she's doing. I'm so proud of her. I really am. Anybody who'll take on a marathon is a lot of work. I'm unable to these days, but I can appreciate the Olympics and all the hard work that Snow's put into this preparation. Thanks, Christy. I really appreciate that. 1 week to go, Snow? Well, that's good. It's going to be so nice when it's over, right? And you win first place. I'm just saying. And I look forward to hearing from you and letting us know what goes on. We'll share it online, okay? Auntie M, no new news regarding Nancy Guthrie's disappearance. There's been a variety of updates that has gone on the last 2 weeks. I've been unable to stream it. I did for a while when I was able to. I know there was discussion about the mask. I also know about, let me give you a quick recap of what I had. Yep. And go. Sorry. I got to get into certain files. So as we know, I've reported, and it is out there, Nancy Guthrie is an 84-year-old woman from the Catalina Foothills area near Tucson, Arizona. It's about 100 miles from where I'm at, my current location. She was last seen on January 31st at her Tucson home, reported missing on February 1st. It was treated as a criminal case, as you know. Investigation's been ongoing. A lot of stuff is kept close to the vest because when you're investigating, you really need to not alert the alleged abductors or kidnappers. The evidence you've heard about already regarding blood drops on the porch, the doorbell camera tampered with, and the pacemaker signal lost soon after. And the Pima County Sheriff's Department and the FBI continue to investigate the case, as you know, and they're getting well over 50,000 plus tips, either through their 1-800-CALL-FBI phone line or the website tips.fbi.gov. Sorry, I don't have it pulled up in front of me. Snow, you don't have to crawl over the finish line. You will get there just fine. Trust me. Christy, I'll have to look after the stream what you wrote. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that, Snow. And that's true too, Snow. Thank you so much. As of now, there have been multiple family alerts, messages through video, trying to reach out to the alleged abductors, as well as letting Nancy herself know that she's not forgotten or that she is missed, and they all pray that she's brought home safely, which is one of my prayers every night. Now, there is something going on in the community where the Arizona residents, they are reacting to the case by taking additional security precautions in their own homes, such as building fortified safe rooms due to heightened fears, which is not cheap. But there is a fear out there now until the abductor or alleged abductor and or abductors are located and brought into court, brought into jail, or found. People should be concerned, in my opinion. There's been a lot of tributes being left there near her home, and also supporters and volunteers have been attempting to do some searches, which is a wonderful thing. But as long as they don't impact the investigation, I think that that's something they all need to be aware of, because they don't want to interrupt what's being looked at. And keep in mind, when you're doing things like an investigation like this is active, and we are into the third week of her disappearance, you don't lose hope. You just keep looking at the tips. You keep looking at the video footage. You keep looking at what's going on, people around, and investigate, right? There's DNA. There's items of interest. There's vehicle. I want to say 2 vehicles that are being addressed, right? So I think there's still a lot of goings on in the case. As far as her daughter, Savannah, who's one of three, a colleague of hers has been taking over as co-anchoring in her absence, which sounds like a good support from the show that she is co-hosting. And yes, it has drawn national and international media attention and reignited broader conversation about coverage disparities in missing persons cases. Yes, I've had many comments regarding the missing children in Arizona, upwards of 300,000 missing children. I would like to do a stream posting the missing posters that are posted out there, I believe on the FBI website and other sites. So I'll do my best to make time, and then we can spend an hour or two just going over them. I think it's well worth it to bring again to attention to the world, as well as showing a child's face. If I stay focused on children, or if I also include elderly, anyone is missing needs that on-air visual, right? Because you never know who might see something. So, Snow, if you have that link, I'd appreciate it if you can share it. I will look for it right now, if that makes it easier. And I do appreciate you asking. I will say at this point, although the goal has been met, it doesn't reach my ultimate costs. I'll put it that way, okay? So we shall see what happens in the near future, and I will do more streams. I hope to do the missing children's. Also updates on Nancy Guthrie, and a few others that I have had prepared a couple weeks ago that I just didn't provide on a live stream. So I'll keep doing that. Thanks, Snow. I appreciate that. I really do. And just the support from everybody, it helps a lot. So, okay. I think we're almost at the 30-minute mark. Does anybody have questions? Have other interest topics that I should cover? Thanks, Kimball Bright. I truly appreciate everybody's comments and support. Can't really say much more, so please don't be offended. I just can't speak to that part of my life currently, okay? So with that said, I want to thank you all for attending this stream. I did want to get it done the 1st of March so that now I can start watching for the March news alerts that are going to be coming up throughout the month. And again, come April 1st or 2nd, approximately, I will do another Maricopa County Attorney's Office, latest news, and civic alerts, which I'm bringing to citizens and hopefully others that are watching. Even you can check your own area and see what news alerts are out there. I do mention a lot about circle of influence. You can only be influential in your personal circle, but if you make friends and reach out to others professionally and such, you will find that your circle of influence could grow, and a sharing of information can lead to a lot of these cases where the bad people get caught. So I pray that everybody is watching out for Nancy Guthrie, saying your prayers, thinking positive thoughts. I hold on to hope after hope. And with that, I will end the stream here. Thank you all for attending. I truly appreciate it. And we will see each other soon. Okay? Thank you so much. Bye now.